everybody, we all feel very bad. I mean, ordinary Nigerians are terrified, they're petrified, they're scared that life has become so cheap around them. The ordinary Nigerian does not care how this thing ends, to be honest. There have been suggestions as to what government should do. Should you negotiate with Boko Haram? Should you clamp down on them? Should the government offer them carrots or offer them the stick? Now, that's a matter of details, really. Because the ordinary Nigerian, like you asked, the ordinary Nigerian does not care how this thing is handled. He just wants to go to the market, sell his goods, come back home without fearing that he will step on a bomb. And that is the responsibility of government. People should go to sleep and expect government to take care of their lives and properties. That is why they are elected into government. So government has a primary responsibility to carry this whole burden away from the people and say, tackle it and assure them that you are safe. Go to where you are. We will take care of you. So the other Nigerian really is less concerned about the politics involved though in this whole terrorism thing. They are less concerned. They are more concerned about their daily lives and how they can go about their daily lives without fear of molestation or sudden death.
Before you choose to use your device, so you don't have.
I remember what I said. I said, look, you don't grant amnesty. You offer amnesty. Now, look at what happened the last time. The group, this sect, the Boko Haram, virtually disgraced government. Government said we are granting you amnesty. They came out the next day and said, I'm sorry, we don't need amnesty. That was why the government got angry and said, look, state of emergency. They said we don't need amnesty. So government that should be the force of the nation, the cohesive force, is not the one begging. And the other people who should be the people who should be running away from cohesive, that the ones saying no, we will not. We will deal with you, government. It is some kind of warped arrangement. So that is why we now said, okay, look, as government, if you want to show magnanimity, don't grant, offer and say, look, I am only giving you this on this condition. You have 1 month to drop your arms, just like they did to Niger Delta. It was an offer, it was not a grant. They said offer, but before we give you amnesty, come and deposit your arms. These are the terms of the offer. When you now do that, we now say, okay, you are a good boy. Go and trade certain this, go and do this, go and take some money and trade, and then be reintegrated back into society. So that is what they should do to the Boko Haram. They should not dance to the tune and the dictates of the Boko Haram. They should offer them and say, but these are the conditions. You cannot impose Islam on the whole nation. We respect you, we respect your religion, but it's impossible under the circumstance. Your demands are unattainable. Secondly, you must do this, and then we should all live in peace again. But I support the fact that if that is what will bring peace and stop the loss of lives and limbs, government should.
What is it you think about me? What is your imagination? How do you see me? Yes, I am God's creation, but I am not the only one.
We want to have the right to live like other people. We have the right to vote. We want to have the right to determine our own future and ourselves. Good enough. That is what the Niger Delta militants were doing. That is what Masob is doing in the East. Masob is saying, that is why I'm the lawyer to Ralph Wazurike and the leader of the Masob movement. I'm their lawyer. So I'm the lawyer to separatist groups. But I support them because that is the right to self-determination. But they should not claim innocent lives. And that is why I'm also the lawyer to Asari Dokubo and the Niger Delta groups, because they are also pushing for right to self-determination. But in pushing their right to self-determination, they are not going to the north to say, look, sorry, we are telling you that you must do this in Sokoto or Kaduna. They are saying that in this our land, in this our area, in this our territory, this is how we want to live. So they are doing it within the confines of their territory, and they say this is what we want to do. Correct? Fine. Now, if you want to transpose that and compare it to that of the Boko Haram, they are saying they want to impose Islam on Lagos, on Delta states, on Imo states, on everywhere, and that they want to spread it. Everybody must. We are saying no, it is impossible. You can't do that. Because that is not going beyond the right to self-determination. It is not the right to self-determination. It's a right for you to determine what others you do. No, determine what you should do, not what others you do. Do you understand me? Yes. So, this is the point that we are making. But I support the fact that they have a right to push themselves what they want in their own territory, in their land. And if other people in that land agree with you, please have it. And that is why most of us will never oppose Sharia law in certain areas where they feel it is predominant. Okay? If Sharia law is a predominant this thing in certain areas, so long as within that area you allow the Christians to live within their life, but predominantly you want to impose Sharia law, please do. I have been in the north. I know how passionate they are about that. And so you cannot question them. But within that community, within those areas, allow the Christians to worship their God. Allow them to go about their duty. If you drag them to court and they say they are not Muslims, don't try them under Sharia law. Don't impose Sharia law on them. But if you are an adherent of that faith and you want to live by the Sharia law, who will question you? Nobody will question you. Let them live by that. It is their choice. Their right for them to determine their future themselves. That's my position.
Now we fail to realize, now I have to pay the price. Pay the price. See, young man.
I think that's just a small aspect of it. You may have that factor as a recruiting factor. Recruiting in the sense that those who don't have jobs are easily recruited into this cause. So it plays its own part, but it's not a major factor. But it helps to breed the adherents, the foot soldiers. Because when somebody has a responsible job, you cannot tell me now or tell you that you are trying to make a meaning out of your life, doing all of this you are doing, that you should go and carry a bomb. Nobody's going to convince you. That you should strap a bomb around yourself and go and kill people and kill yourself. So it is those who don't have a meaning to their lives, who don't have jobs, who are poor, that they feed on their minds, and they feed ideas into their minds and take them to do these things. And that's why it plays its own role. But the major role, I think, if you ask me, beyond the facade of religion, beyond the facade of Islam, is political. It's political. Because I've not seen a situation where even no matter how ridiculous your demands are, when somebody says, okay, come, let's talk about it. You say no. You just keep bombing. But they say, come, let's talk about it. Let's dialogue about this. You say no. Even Niger Delta militants, when they say, come and talk, and they say, yeah, they drop their arms and say they went to talk. Because the purpose of violence, in fact, the politics of violence is that you're only using it not as an end, but as a means to an end. That is the politics of violence. You're only shouting and throwing because you want a certain authority to listen to you. That's the meaning. And so when the authority listens and reacts and says, oh, I've heard your bombs, but come, let's talk. You must talk. Because that's the reason why you were throwing bomb in the first place. You want to be heard. So I'm not in a situation where somebody is carrying out a campaign of violence and they say, okay, we have heard your violence, come and talk. You say, no, we won't talk. Abba, I've not seen it. Like a small child. Why does a small child rave and rant? Because the child wants something. So when the child is crying and crying and crying and trying, I say, what is wrong with that pikin? Doesn't have food he wants. Give her food now. And then you give him food and then there's no cry again. Because the child is not just crying for crying's sake. The child wants something. It's only a few Muslims, few Nigerians that capitalize on that. They'll say, oh, the man is the head of the parastatal is a Muslim. Why would the 5 others be Muslim or Christian? You know, all kinds of crazy things happen in this country. In order to not get positions. You know, it's unbelievable.